Welcome to Sold Sistas podcast. I'm your girl Latrice,
I'm Future.
I'm Cairo.
and today we have a very special guest. Why don't you go ahead? Oh, pull your mic closer, honey.
Okay.
Oh, she thought she was just about to be kicking it.
I know, right? My check. Is this good?
Can you tell the people who you are?
So, you guys, my name is Ashley Tolliver. I am known on social media for Beauty Bandit Ashley. And a little bit about me, I am a Detroit-based makeup artist, licensed esthetician, but people kind of recognize me for a lot of other things too, for bringing the vibes, having events that bring about social interaction and just good energy. So, yeah.
And speaking her mind on social media.
I've been calming down with that lately. It attracts a lot of flies.
Okay. So, for those of you that don't know, we all regularly attend appointments with Ashley as our makeup artist. She is the reason that we are so fly on the Sold Sistas podcast. So we just want to thank her and acknowledge that we really, really appreciate you for getting us together and squeezing us in and all the time and commitment you put towards making us a success.
And I appreciate y'all for just being faithful clients.
On them earlier episodes when I was the only one looking cute.
Oh,
Give a special thanks to,
not you being Blastiana.
to Ashley.
Wow.
So that you guys just, as you can see, this episode is going to be full with all type of shade and just all good gems, everything. So we're going to tap into so many different things. Ashley is an entrepreneur. She is a homeowner. She is a single mom that bought the damn house, as you can see from our other episodes. She actually encouraged us to have that episode, and she's a condo owner. We're just going to get into all the things. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. So, Ashley, I know you kind of gave the people a little bit of what you do. Can you elaborate on some of the other things you do outside of makeup?
So again, I do a lot of, well, I start getting my feet wet into doing social events. So for Black women to come together and be able to be cute, free flowing, to vibe, connect with other similar like-minded Black women, and it's all good. It's about community, it's sisterhood, and this is something that's passionate to me because when you're a beauty professional, you hear clients talk all day, and you hear the wants, you hear the needs, you hear the desires. So I just said, well, I know I have the power to fill some of those voids. So I do that. Then I be on social media talking a lot of trash like I do. But good trash, saying things that, a lot of us are thinking, but we just are not as confident to say. A lot of people are tied to social groups, religious groups, certain industries where they can't really be as vocal. I'm not tied to nothing. So I'm just a loose cannon out here. So I'll say what I feel like needs to be said. But not in a way to offend anyone.
Yeah.
Not in a way to offend. I'm never disrespectful. I speak my mind. Now, if you feel like you disrespected, that's on you. I can't help how you receive the information. I just, put it out there. And then, just my little lifestyle on social media, just taking my little trips, doing my cute little Black girl things. And, people just like to come along for the ride. And I like to bring you along for the ride.
Yeah, my homeboy looked at her page and he was like, it looks like she's well traveled. Talking about when he feeling down. He gonna look at Ashley page.
I told her I needed an appointment this weekend. I was like, "Are you gonna be here this weekend?" She was like, "What you trying to say?" And I'm like, "I'm just saying, 8 out of 10 posts."
It's so funny because they'll text me like, Ashley, I know I got a book online, but I'm just making sure you go even be here if I book this appointment. Yes, girl.
So she has created a lot of events. She's, I guess, being modest right now, but she's created. I remember the Barbie event.
That was really fun.
That was my introduction to Ashley, and I was like, "This is heaven." It was so much fun. I was great. Like that was my first time I think ever interacting with Ashley.
I'm glad you enjoyed Cairo.
Great,
Yeah, all the girlies had on pink, and she had like the big Barbie box where people could stand in and take pictures and stuff.
It was so cute.
Yeah, but all her events are cute. She
The friends at first sight.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yep. So getting the opportunity to kind of like have blind dates, or what is it, like
Like
speed
speed
dating?
dating for
But for
women
women.
to find friends.
Yeah, that was very, very nice. Ballroom hustling, dancing, and everything together. And then you have an event that you're planning right now.
So yes, I am doing a New Year's Eve luxury experience to Cape Town, South Africa. So for anyone who's never been to Africa, they want to just kind of, experience something different, that beautiful air, people, culture, heritage, print, texture, color, just the vibes. Like, I just wanted to extend that because I know my first time going to Africa, I mean, it was a life-changing experience. It's so many stories that's just between me and God from that trip. And I just feel like everybody should experience that.
That's very exciting. So now we are going to dive into a little bit of real estate. So I want you to tell the people, because oftentimes we talk to people that are W-2 employed when they purchase their home, and you purchase your home as an entrepreneur. So can you kind of tell us what that journey was like, what you've learned from that experience and things of that nature?
First thing I want to say is when you're looking for a home, just know what you're getting yourself into. Make sure you understand like your responsibilities as a homeowner, and then don't be pressured by anybody.
Right.
Go with what you feel is the best option for you, and take your time. It's not a rush. It's a big purchase. No house is too. It's no such thing as a house that's too small or not big enough, because some people make it seem like you should desire to just have like this big $1 million home or $500,000 home, and that's not for everybody. So for me, a condo spoke to me and my lifestyle. I'm a
Right.
single mother with a son. I'm barely at home because my work causes me to be all over the place. So we spend more time in my vehicle than we do at home. So I know I wanted something that was not a lot of maintenance, that was simple. I still wanted to own, and then something that my son could be comfortable in too, that just wasn't too much work.
Right.
So
Okay.
mhm.
So do you have any horror stories, or was yours all peachy keen?
Mine was not peachy keen, because when I went to close on my home, that's when they announced that week what COVID was in the
Right.
pandemic. So everything was like completely shut down. So this is before they were doing virtual tours. Real estate agents were not even allowed to go into homes and show homes. To my understanding, you guys would be fined or penalized, or could potentially lose your license if you do so. So I had to actually have somebody who knew somebody that knew somebody else hook me up to even get me into my property to take a look at it. Okay. Then at the time, people were just doing guesstimate appraisals because nobody could physically go
Right.
to appraise. The inspection, again, somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody that hooked me up, that did a favor, that came in and even did an inspection for me. Because if you bought your house, I want to say maybe that first or second week, or you was in the process, everything was literally blind. You just had to trust what people were saying to you if you were at a distance and you couldn't see it yourself. So I was able to see my home. I also think it's important to make sure that don't just choose any real estate agent. No, don't choose any real estate agent. This is no shade to who my real estate agent is. I'm just saying that you really need to work with somebody who you know that is knowledgeable. And if they're not as experienced, they're willing to go and ask experienced realtors, or if they have a mentor realtor that's kind of overseeing what they do. But I just wouldn't choose anybody, because it's a lot of people that say that they know how to do something and they're the expert, and then you get down to it and it's good when everything is going good, but if there's something that goes left in the deal, or somebody says something, then they take it back, or they try to renege on what a negotiation is. You need somebody that's going to go to bat for you, because as a
Right.
client, you expect your agent to do all of that for you,
Yeah, for
because
sure.
you guys know the lingo, from experiences, if we do it this way, this is going to be the outcome. If we do it that way, this is going to be the outcome. But when you have an agent that's kind of either not confident, or they're not willing to fight for you, or just they have like a okey doke energy, it's not going to be in your best interest, and you will spend a lot more money too than probably what you intended to.
So for anybody that is an entrepreneur looking to buy, what advice or tips would you give them?
To get
Um,
prepared.
Okay, so you definitely have to file your taxes, and you need to file your taxes to show that you are making income. And when you file your taxes, and if you are 100% entrepreneur, you don't have no W-2, you're going to owe money to the IRS. And don't be intimidated by that. I mean, that's just part of the game when you are a business owner. So you have to pay your taxes. Now, if you try to do, what a lot of people like to do, because you're trying to keep your money in your pocket, if you show that you're losing income every year, I mean, you'll get off for a little bit because you thinking, okay, I'm not paying tax, I'm getting a return. But when it comes time for you to get a loan, when it comes time for you to buy a home, you won't be able to, because a lender is going to look at you and say, well, you say you've been in business for 5 years, but all we see is negative, 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 negative. Why would I give you money when you
Right.
showing me that you can't even make money in your business? And if you're not making money in your business, you're not going to be able to pay me back. So and then that's when you got to go into begging people to try to co-sign for you or put something in their name. And you grown, who want to do all that and be at somebody else's,
Yeah, because that's a lot of money.
Mhm.
That's a lot of money. So
and you
I'm
need,
not doing it.
I would say comfortably, you need 2 to 3 years worth of consistent tax return showing that you
It's
made
that too.
income.
Yeah, minimum
You
too.
got that minimum too.
Okay.
Yeah, my accountant told me, because I was trying to write some stuff off, and he was just like, Latrice said starting to look like a hobby.
No, for real.
Like, okay, all right.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And if you got the right CPA, they can set you up, right? Like my CPA was a godsend. I'll give y'all his information at the end. I got to look on Instagram. His name is Demario. He set my LLC up to where now I have an S corp and I pay myself, so I get those tax benefits of having an employee. But I also have that W-2 at the end of the year where it shows that I'm making a certain amount of money, and because I pay myself, I get to make the decision on what I'm paying myself. So we can make those plans on, if I want to buy a house, I want to get a new car, things like that.
So you will have the pay stubs and the W-2
Yeah,
to be able to.
and a W-2 and a 1099.
And piggybacking off of what Future said, keyword, find a CPA. And not, it's a lot of people, I don't know what it is. Everybody just want to hustle and try to get
Not
money
Jimmy
every
who
which
do
way.
taxes.
Yes. And no shade, it's a lot of people that jump and they say they do taxes. No, that's somebody else that you want to see who has experiences, and they have experience with small businesses too.
Right.
Small businesses. And I know a lot of people like to use that word. Get an S corp, get an S corp. A CPA is going to tell you if an S corp is beneficial for you and your business. Now, just because it's beneficial for Future, that doesn't mean it's going to be beneficial for you.
No, for sure.
Like when I started working with a CPA, I went in because I was hearing these Instagram buzzwords. I was like, I want to be an S corp. And when she broke it down to me, she said, "Baby girl, this ain't for you. Not where you at in your business right now. It doesn't make sense." So
Yeah, you got to make sure it makes sense.
mhm.
Okay, so we talked about buying a home as an entrepreneur. So let's dive into condo, like pros and cons, because I think not enough people know about buying a condo and what the difference is in a condo versus a townhouse versus a single family home or any of that.
So I would say condos come in all shapes and sizes. Now my condo is in the downtown Detroit area. So in my
lit.
It's lit. What you're paying for it pretty much is the location. Now, I like my condo because I do have my attached garages. However, you have condos where it's basically to me like a glorified apartment. So you just
It just depends on what works for you.
it depends on what works for you. So
Don't scare away our high-rise girlies.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is condos come in different shapes and sizes. And
Actually,
so if you
glorified apartment was a little shady.
No, because it's because what they're trying. I'm sorry, and I'm not talking about the luxury high rises. I just feel like we're in a time where a lot of people like to slap that word condo in front of any type of building, and it don't have those. I'm not talking about the lux girlies that's in the nice, cute high rises. I'm talking about the ones that's just a regular apartment that you paying money what you could have bought a for real condo or home for.
Okay, so just to tap back in, we are talking about the differences in condos and being a condo owner, the pros and cons of having a condo, and all the things people don't know about condos.
Okay, so the pro is minimal responsibility. So I don't want to deal with snow, raking leaves, flowers, like that type of work, just because my schedule doesn't permit it. And I also don't want to spend extra money doing it. So that's a benefit. Now every condo is different. You have some people who their homeowner association fee will cover the inside of their condos or units as well. But just note, you will probably be paying a higher fee. So the more amenities typically means the more you're going to pay. Basic bare minimum, every condo should be covering at least to keep up the grounds. My condo, I'm responsible for whatever goes wrong inside of my home.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
your
y'all
four
thinking about a
walls.
condo, we
Even-
do have homeowners insurance. I'm sure Ashley
Mhm.
has homeowners insurance, so you'll have that insurance. But
And then you got to keep in mind that you're a part of a community. So, like for my community, we all have to, everything has to look the same. So you can't just have random stuff sitting on your line and making it look, unappealing. Everyone door paint has to be the same. Or if you kind of want to make like big changes, you got to get permission from the HOA just to clear it. Then if you're dealing with contractors, you got to make sure everybody is licensed professionals, because if anything goes wrong and your contractor causes damage to your neighbor or another unit, you're going to be responsible to cover the damage. And that's how most bylaws are, written out. So
Mhm.
Absolutely. And as far as for the high-rise condos, oftentimes those condos do come with a higher HOA just because the building is one, like standalone, and it's larger, and there's floors and there's elevators and all the things, the fitness centers and all of that. So most of the, I hate to even put a number on it, but for the most part, if you are in a high rise, especially depending if you downtown and this, that, and the third, you might be paying close to another small mortgage on another
yeah,
property.
my homegirl,
Yeah.
she's paying like another $600 for hers. But
Yeah.
again, like you said, they have a lot of amenities, and
That's a good
and hers covered the inside too. So I mean, they have an on-call maintenance person
Mhm.
Oh,
for
that's
their,
cool.
so to me, that's
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, our for the condo that I lived in, it was about $900 an additional to our mortgage. So, mhm.
So another thing I think a lot of people don't recognize, I used to have clients ask me, especially on the mortgage side, like, what are the perks to having a condo? A lot of times they're pretty much what Ashley mentioned, but condos also have cons as well. So I had to explain to them, like, with a condo, you own a piece of everything. So you own a piece of your window, a piece of your roof, a piece of everybody's roof in the community. So if something goes wrong with the roof, and they have to repair or replace all the roofs in the entire condominium, everybody's getting assessed with this fee, or your
Right.
HOA dues can increase. So just because that's what
Yeah.
they started out as, that doesn't mean that that is what they're going to be. And then sometimes they have restrictions as far as like if you can rent your property out, if you can Airbnb your property
Right.
out. Because a lot of people that buy condos typically, from my point of view, were like flight attendants and stuff.
Mhm.
Like my clients that were flight attendants, because they didn't have the ability to maintain their property while they're going to be gone a lot. So that's something you have to keep in mind too. And then if you're pre-approved for FHA financing, a lot of times
Lord.
those condos
Barely.
are barely
Yeah.
often approved for FHA just because there's a fee and there's a process to stay on the FHA approved list. And a lot of times when condos get full, they don't want to go through it. So
Yeah,
And my down payment was I paid much more upfront because I only qualified for a conventional loan because they didn't. I think, but you know what some do is
it's a spot approval. You can get a spot approval.
yeah,
for
but
FHA loan.
and I think the last time our association even dealt with FHA, they told me was like 10 years ago.
Right.
I think it expired or something like that, and I don't think they really tried to pursue it since.
It's very difficult to get FHA. I'm working with clients now, and I originally tried to purchase my condo FHA, and we ended up having to swap at the last minute because the FHA spot approval didn't get confirmed. So really, just keep your credit together if you want a condo, because it's easier and just less hassle conventional.
And then everything has to be voted on too. So just like you were saying, Treese, about you may not be able to rent
Mhm.
your condo out. So in my opinion, the condo that I live in is not a forever home. I think my condo is good for if you are maybe a new couple getting married, it's just the two of you.
Right.
Maybe one baby, maybe one baby. And that's kind of pushing it. If you're a single parent, if you're somebody that's maybe divorced and you want a fresh start and you're downsizing, I definitely don't think it's elderly friendly just because of the stairs and it's not handicap accessible. But when I first moved in, we had to vote on, hey, do you guys want to allow people to do short-term rentals, Airbnbs? And our complex it's unique because it's a lot of like mature people who've probably retired from the city of Detroit.
Mhm.
And then there's a sprinkle of a few of us that are younger that own, and then we have a few people that rent. But because they're not forever homes, a lot of people want to keep it. They don't want to sell it. They still want to keep it and have that as an extra source of income. So you had the original owners who are older who like, no, we just want to keep the community the same. We don't want no Airbnb. We don't even really want renters. We want everyone to own. And so when I came in, my thing was like, well, I feel like if someone paid their money, they could do whatever they want with their property. Who am I to say that you can't rent or Airbnb it out? So that is something that you have to consider.
Mhm.
You're not going to be able to do whatever you want to do just because you feel like you
Own
purchased
it.
it, because it's not technically just yours, if that makes sense.
Right.
I got a question. I feel like me and you was friends on social media when you bought that condo.
Mhm.
Why didn't you reach out to me?
Let me tell. Okay, I'm glad that you said this, and that's why I said you need to do your research. We were friends, but we did not have any like interactions like that.
No, we
with
didn't
each other.
really. We just was friends on social
And
media.
I didn't really know that Future was that girl in real estate. I didn't. And I reached out to someone else on Facebook that I just saw her always posting her real estate stuff. And I was just going
She
by.
was consistent.
I just I didn't
was that girl. I'm like, all right.
I didn't see a lot of posts. I didn't see posts like that from Future.
Joking.
I didn't. And we were Facebook friends, and that makes a big difference because you see everybody's business platform on Instagram. Same thing with me. A lot of people on Facebook have no clue I'm a
Yeah,
makeup
I didn't
artist.
know she did makeup either.
That's what I'm saying. So I
It's
came,
weird.
but I did come
her
to
hair was cute. I'm like, her hair cute.
Future, but I
Yeah.
did come to Future later, and I said, you know what? I wish I had known you when I was purchasing I think Future would have did right by me, and it would have just been a difference in the trends. And not saying, and I'm not, and it's not to downplay my agent, not at all. I just feel like Future would have been a little more aggressive because when she's working for her clients, and I hear her when she's on the phone, when she's in her makeup appointments, Future is a shark.
Very much so.
Future is a shark, and she has a very dominant, like, I'm about my business, very direct. There's no he, LOL. It's yes or no, west or east, north or south. There is no in between with
Somebody who
her.
appreciates
It is, and
my attitude.
and when you
Miss
spend it, and when you
Latrice,
spending a
Sister Latrice.
and when you making that type of investment, you need to have an agent that's confident and that's going to go to bat for you. All that tiptoeing around it. Well, I mean, we don't want you to lose the home. We don't want that type of. We want that boss energy. Like, what can be done? So for me, it was a couple of things that did not go in my favor, and not because it couldn't. It's just that my agent was a little more on the
let's get this deal done.
Let's just get this deal done. And she was so afraid. And I get it. And she had legitimate concerns. Don't get me wrong. It was during the pandemic. And this is where, people was coming with all cash on the floor. So she's just like, listen, they accepted your offer. I don't want us to lose this over petty stuff like this. But my whole thing is the principle of, if this was in the agreement, or they said this is what they came with, legally I should have it.
Yeah, if it's an agreement, it's yours.
Right.
Yeah.
They came back out. It's yours.
I had a client that we put on the purchase agreement that the client was getting appliances. The house never had appliances. We did our final walkthrough. It did not have appliances.
Maybe.
We get to closing, and I'm like, so y'all writing the check, or what we doing?
And
the seller was there by herself. Her agent wasn't even there. And she was just like, I didn't sign up for that. I said, you signed
Yes,
it.
you did.
And my client got all them appliances. So like people work with a lot of agents that are afraid to ask. They're afraid
And
to
I
ask for
think-
concessions. They're afraid
yes.
to ask for anything.
yes,
Literally, I had my dad.
Yes, two sides
hold
to
on
it.
I was like, wait, you know how if you're buying a flip, people know in Detroit, they won't put the hot water tank and the furnace in there. And I'm like, all right, who did his final walkthrough? We were supposed to close an hour later. I'm like, yeah, we're not closing. So if we don't put the concessions down, y'all don't put a furnace in there by the end of today, we're not doing it. Like, I'm not scared.
The thing about it is, for me and Cairo, you know me, y'all all know me. I walk it like I talk it. So if my clients are expecting something and you don't give it to them, I'm going to give it to them. Mm-hmm. So I'm not getting a house full of appliances and you said you were going to get it. Mm-hmm. There have been instances where my client, I learned the hard way about that. Mm-hmm. And that's why I am such a shark, where my client anticipated having a dish. No, it was a microwave. The nice microwaves. And got there, and that
bring it back flashback.
That microwave wasn't there. I had to have ABC Warehouse I purchased a stainless steel microwave and had it delivered and paid for it to be installed because that's what my client was expecting, and it was my job to make sure
And mine's
that it was there.
my microwave and the dishwasher was not there. And also they
You gotta
damaged
eat that
and
box.
also and so because it was during COVID, mind you, my agent was also very scary about just going into the home because she say she was sickly. So you at that time, this is where you could not go in the bank either. This was also after the holiday season. Mind you, I had went through everything because the lender was giving me a hard time too because they wanted to see every single dollar and cent that I had because it was during COVID and I did not have a W-2. So after just going through the back and forth with just the lender, and then my closing date actually got pushed back twice because there was something going on with the title. I mean, I had a lot going on. So the day that we were supposed to do the final walkthrough, my agent did not do it and she was not there. She also knew because my date got pushed back twice and it was after the holiday, I think it was like Labor Day or something like that, to go to the bank, you could not just walk in. That was a 2 to 3 hour process just standing in line because you got people that's trying to withdraw money for whatever. And it's right after the holiday when banks were closed. So I missed my walkthrough. My agent was not there. I went straight to the title company to sign off on my paper and close blindly, not knowing when I went the day after to see my home, they took everything that was in the home, never dumped it. They put it all in the garage.
See, that's crazy.
And they put just anything, old furniture, rotted food, garbage, everything. And it was
That's fine.
and it was summertime too. And it was hot.
Yeah,
It was hot.
but even if she couldn't do it, Cairo, because your health is everything. Like, I'm not gonna say
Right, right.
you should have paid one of these young gals who health is straight to go do that walkthrough.
Or
for your
offer
client.
me cleaning or offer me
Yeah.
the dumpster and cleaning services
We didn't pay
after
for some cleaning because it ain't been done.
afterwards.
Pay for cleaning, pay for what is it, home warranties? It was supposed to be paid. So
Yeah.
I'm like, well, here goes that $700.
And sometimes it's stuff that we didn't even agree to. It's just making sure the customer is happy. Like, it's that
It
still
goes
that
a long
customer
way.
service. Yeah,
It goes
aspect.
a long way because at the end of the day, we are in a relationship oriented business.
Right.
So even if I have to eat some costs, but if I took care of you, you're gonna refer me
That's
business.
right.
I'm gonna make that money back. Like
And that's why I would say just not working with an agent that's so money hungry because you really can feel the energy and tell the one. So like let's say if you guys care about your client, as much money as you guys are going to take home for your commission, it's really not about to knock you out the park to take care of little things when you know your client is going to get the home at the end of the day.
And if you're a homeowner too, like don't nobody wanna deal with that.
Yes.
Yeah. I closed the deal today with a old ex coworker of mine. We have a great rapport. I love him. And we had to work out some FHA repairs. And when it was all said and done, it cost me and the lender. But the deal got done. It's just like,
Imagine opening your door to your new house and your appliance is not there and the garage is full of crap. Like
that doesn't make for a good
nobody
experience.
wants to do that.
It was a lot of stuff, y'all. It wasn't even a little bit of stuff. And then it was just like flies and everything, all in that. I mean, it was just a complete nightmare. And so then I have my new neighbors looking at me like I'm crazy because they're thinking that this is something that I did or I didn't take care of. And then it was like a complaint like, well, you can't have that garbage in the garage. Like
I didn't put that in there.
I just purchased this property yesterday. Like this is my first day even coming to see, because I couldn't just keep going in and out the house due to COVID and they couldn't keep letting me in. So yeah, just having an agent again that's going to have your back is your back is just very important, and one that's not money hungry either, because it's really not that serious. Just take care of your client, and then when you take care of your client,
They take care of you.
They're gonna so and so even for me now, after I purchased my home, you know how many small business owners who's in the same boat as me. I don't have a W-2 and I see that you purchased your home. So how do you do it? You know what I mean? People is in my DM after that. And that's all potential clients. But it was just to the point where because my experience was not the best, it wasn't bad with my agent, but it also was not just
the best.
It wasn't the best. And I feel like knowing what I know now and being educated, because also my process was really expedited because of the pandemic. I didn't really have time to think like that. It was like, we need to make a decision now or you go potentially lose this. And I'm glad I made my decision. So I'm thankful for her because she gave me the right information in that sense. But it was too many other things that she just let go. So off the strength of that, I don't feel comfortable sharing who my agent was, because you're not going to go to bat for them or something. At least I felt.
Right.
And I don't feel comfortable referring people to others when I don't feel confident in the service that I have.
Right.
So
Well, good thing you have 3 other agents you can refer.
yes.
Okay. So before we dive into our quick questions, real quick, anything that you want to tell single women about buying homes to empower or uplift them or encourage them?
You know, I'm going to be very transparent. In the beginning, I thought I need a man, I need a man, I need a man, I need a man. And I was raised in an environment, a collective environment, to think that any major decision that I do should be paired with a partner or a husband. Now, I'm 36 now, and I'm not saying that I'm going to be single forever, but I also don't have time to just put all bets on that. So I know I'm a single mom. I have a son, and I can't wait around to make these decisions based upon, it shouldn't be on the contingency of if I'm married or not, if I have a man or not, can I afford to do this, with a man or not. So
It's so refreshing to hear somebody say that, because you hear so many women like, I don't got a man and I got a
you
man.
and I'm not trying to say, when I say you don't need a man, I'm not saying that men don't will not add value to your life. So
Right.
let me be very clear, because y'all like to tussle and y'all like to fight when people are just direct and honest like that. But you don't need a man to buy a home. I think it's in a single woman's best interest to have her own assets and properties, because my back is not against the wall. So when I date a man, I'm dating you because I want your companionship. I don't want your money. I don't need to feel like I got to stick with you because it's a shoe in for me and my son to have a place to stay in, for you to take care of us. No, I just want to date you because I want to date you. And if it continues to move forward, we will. And now if I get with you and you somebody that I like, I'm going to stay. If you showing me things that's not for me, I can just leave because I can go back to my place.
Right.
I don't have to be stuck in a situation, due to circumstances, because dang, if I leave him, I don't have a place for me and my son. Dang, if I leave him, I can't afford my lifestyle or my bills. And you get and you get sucked into it. You just really signing off into the book of death when you stand with a man that's not for you, just by circumstance. So no, get your own house, get your own assets. If you want to get with a man later and then y'all want to join forces together, fine, but you should have your own things, so you have that freedom and that liberation. And it's nothing wrong with that. But when I start seeing how things was going for me, I just was like, you know what? I made a lot of decisions in the past based upon what the man in my life was doing. And I got the short end of the stick every time. And I should have got the short end of the stick, because I should have never put nobody before me like that. I should never put nobody before the best interest of me or my child like that. So I wanna shout out my girl Zara Northover, because Zara Northover, she was the one who spoke life into me in terms of, you know what, Ashley, you need to get a home. It's just you and JoJo. You could qualify for a home. And at the time she was working for well-known mortgage lending company. So she just was like, let's get you pre-approved. Now I'm going into this like, oh, okay, not really knowing what I'm doing. Oh, okay. Then the pre-approval got approved. Oh, okay. All right. So now we about to get you an agent. Okay, got an agent. Here's a home on Zillow. Here's a couple of condos you want to, look into. Which one do you like? I like that one. All right. Let's send this to the agent. Let's see how much it costs. Let's run the numbers. All right. She did some little crunching for me, went into lab, came back, and she just was like, all right, so if you get this at this rate, then this is how much you're going to be expected to pay. It's not a guarantee, but it's just an estimate. So I'm like, okay. We went into escrow. And
That was kind of
yeah, and so I'm still delusional at the time. Like I didn't even realize what I was doing. So I'm like, wow, I'm really in this thing. Like, and and I'm like, I'm about to buy a house. Like, it's a thing. But I didn't think, when I looked at home ownership, it always seemed like you had to just do it with a partner. I didn't see too many visuals of just single women or advertised, because even when you look at like real estate ads or home ads or home living, you always see a family.
Right.
It's always a husband, a wife, a child or two, and a little golden retriever or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You never just see real niggas in the I'm sorry, you never see real moms in the field like a single mother like me and my son. They don't advertise that, but that's the reality. So I end up, everything was cleared and they start asking to see all my information. And I really think they was like praying on my downfall. Like, she ain't got it. She ain't got it. It's like, here. here. And then I
She
said,
sound like my sister.
I sent them 2 years worth of taxes. It still wasn't good enough. Here's the third year. What is you? Here's the LLC paperwork. Here's the PayPal. Here's the Cash App. Here's everything. Like, what more do you want? They really put me through it. But so
everything.
yes.
So now.
Yeah, so it wasn't as difficult as a process, and it wasn't as intimidating. Again, the only thing is you just, again, like I said, you just need to make sure you have the agent that, and also have an agent that got connections, that know somebody, that know somebody, that know somebody that can push your stuff through in a way that it needs to get pushed through. But yeah, so shout out to my girl Zara, because if it wasn't for her, like and the crazy thing is I grew up in a home. Like, I never moved anywhere. My parents bought a home before they had me, and that was the home I grew up in.
No, we finished it because I think you said like we're used to seeing homes advertised with families versus like, prioritizing, which is something that we need to think about too, as far as like our marketing, making sure we marketed to single
Different.
women
Yep.
and dads, right? Because I've sold homes to dads that
Yeah,
were
me too.
purchasing properties for their kids. So
And you know what I was
We ain't
saying,
talking
that
about these daddies.
and I grew up in a home, in a 2-parent household, and not once did and in Black families, we don't speak to each other about home ownership.
No.
Like, we be so private, like we think it's bad to share, like, how did you get this property, or how much, even sharing our income. And not
Right.
because even if you get a job, like, if we're doing the same thing, I'm trying to negotiate and make sure I'm not getting lowball, and I'm getting. Why don't you tell me we doing the same thing, sis? How much they paying you? Because if they paying you 80K, they told me they was starting me off at 50. So
Exactly. I told Cairo I found out as an adult woman that was inappropriate, because if somebody asked me right now, I made 360 something last year. If somebody asked me how much I made, I've always been very transparent. When Latrice asked me, when I asked Latrice what she made, even if it's not what we wanted to make, we'll still be like, dang, I kind of came in a little short. A man checked me. I asked like, well, he's like, my wife got a raise. And I knew him and his wife. Like, that was my husband's best friend. He was like, the whole demeanor changed. He was like, you don't ask nobody that.
But why? But I feel like
I'm
that's
like,
what causes the
sorry.
despair. I feel like that contributes to the disparity right now, because we're not educated. And I'm not saying you got to share that with the world, but if you're somebody that he already knows, and you have a rapport, you're not no random person just coming up to him asking, and obviously you're asking him for a purpose. But that's another story, another conversation.
So I understand and I don't understand at the same time. I do get privacy, like privacy is important, especially with my clients. I really like don't know a lot about their income most of the time, but I get it. Like, I get not wanting to share how much money you make. I do understand that because it is private and we're all about the optics. But I think when it comes to talking about how you can level up and like get a home or what type of loan you have, like if you got an FHA loan, you got an FHA loan. That's your business. But most people do start that way. Like, it's okay. So I think we kind of do have a gatekeeping culture a little bit, and we have
And what I'm saying, and I get why some people want to be private about their
because they
finances,
capping and they
and
acting like they making all
no,
this
because
money and they ain't.
when you're somebody like me, I didn't know how to gauge what was considered a lot of money and not a lot of money when I first started off as a business owner. So I thought the money that I was making, I thought I was considered to be like, on the lower income side, until I went to PNC Bank one day, and I was just making and that's how the whole another reason why the home buying process came into about, because she asked me, she says, what do you do for a living? She says, has anybody ever talked to you about investment opportunities, anything? I said, no. She was like, do you plan on buying a home? Are you saving for some big purchase? And I'm like, I'm not saving for anything. I just save. I just work, and I'm just saving I don't have nothing to spend my money on. But had she not even said anything to me, and she not even looked at my income and tried to ask those open-ended questions, I wouldn't have even started investing. I wouldn't have known anything about looking into the stock market, mutual funds, CDs, money market accounts, or if you want to get into any type of life insurances where you could kind of like, invest money that way and pull it out. I mean, I didn't know. So that's why I said, I think sometimes we're talking about finances, it shouldn't be looked at as we just trying to like be nosy. Yeah, we no, seriously. And even with a job, like if I'm coming in and I'm trying to, and we're working the same exact job, doing the same type of things, and we have the same type of experience, like, why am I coming in not knowing how much my counterparts are making too?
transparency is not a thing. That's like something that people are just now starting to talk about. Like salary transparency is something that's like a topic on social media, but it's not
And people
so
don't wanna
it's
mess up.
new.
They want to mess up their situation.
Yeah, yeah,
Because while you're sitting here thinking like you're at the top of the food chain, you might not be.
yeah.
And you don't want to share how much you're making because you're afraid it's going to diminish what you're receiving, when in reality, that person that's asking you might be making more than you.
That's true. And that facts. So I feel like even with me, if a lot of times if like another beauty professional come to me and they be like, Ashley, like, can I just ask you some questions because I'm interested in getting a home? I'm gonna tell you, I've had some people who thought they couldn't get a home, and I'm like, sis, you make more money than me. So if I got it, you definitely got it in the bag, you know. So it's just that, and that's why I just feel like it's important to not just do the gatekeep. Now, I'm not saying share your business with everybody, but if it's a peer or somebody that you already have a relationship, yes,
friendship with.
and somebody that's a part of your community, somebody that supports you, like, why not?
Mhm.
Now, if you're a random person, I don't know, you just ask me
Yeah, like
questions,
that's
then
you just being nosy.
I'm not going to answer that, and I'm just going to ignore your DM because why, sis?
So a lot of the questions that we had have kind of just been organically answered. But one of the things that we didn't talk about was branding and business, which I think goes hand in hand with what we both do as an entrepreneur. Like, can you elaborate on that? Like how you can be your authentic self in social media and how marketing helps generate business for you and things of that nature?
Yeah, so you definitely have to do it in a way that makes sense for the type of industry that you in. Now, me, I'm allotted to be more free flowing because I'm in a creative field. So I'm a makeup artist. Now, if I was somebody that maybe I was a financial advisor, I was an attorney, you know, or I was a politician, I'm going to have to be creative in a different way because you have to, you know, appeal in a more disciplined and restrictive manner. It can still be done creatively, but you kind of got to know what your target audience is and what's respectable in your industry. So me being a makeup artist and a beauty professional, it's just
You free.
I mean,
Free as a bird.
I could go to jail tomorrow and come out and people like, listen, I don't care what that girl did. She can beat my face real good. I'm still booking the appointment. That's just, I mean, that's just what it is. It's not going to affect me depending on what the crime is. I
Yeah.
retract that. Depending on what the crime. But but it
Calling a bunch of
but
babies.
people want to see, no matter what you do, people want to see your authentic self at the end of the day. I find that more people start becoming attracted to me when I was a younger mother and I started posting my adventures as a young single mom with my son. That's when it's like, oh, it's relatable. Okay, she's a mom too. She's a single mother too. She has a business, you know. So people want to support me off the strength of that. Then when they saw I was into going out, going to concerts, traveling. Okay, baby girl, be outside. Like, you know, let me book an appointment with her. I feel like I can kiki and talk. And then when I just started sharing personal things about, you know, just whatever I want to share, whether it's I had a discrepancy with somebody or just life things in general, then people feel like, okay, she a real one. Like, she real. Like she's just herself. I like that. Let me just book with her. And then people come in feeling like we cousins already. People come in off the bat and just act like we know each other and just start talking and talking. I'll be listening too, and I'll let you talk, but I'll be like, okay, girl, then you know it goes from there. But you should always be your authentic self. It's so much fake people in the world. There's so many gimmicks and so many people trying to be something that they not. And I feel like the general public is just starting to read straight through that and be like, no, they want the real. They want authenticity. They want somebody they can look at and see a little bit of themselves in, and not an ideal image of what you should be.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's very important with branding. Like, it can't just be all business, business, business. Like, I tell a lot of the agents that I mentor, like, you still have to post personal stuff. Not saying you got to put your personal, like, don't go to the
You don't have to put your
gynecologist
personal
to
business.
post
Yeah.
that. But like, people want to know, like, who are you? You know, are you somebody I want to work with? Are you somebody I feel like I can relate to? You know.
So even like with y'all, I think the behind the scenes, just when I came in the door with my son, just watching y'all interact as sisters together, that's to me was a whole show of this stuff. I said, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. That's what you want to see too.
It's a mess.
Mm.
Because Latrice be bothering me.
Future be bothering me.
Don't you be bothering me.
Future, it is you. Future, you are the problem. You are the drama. You are the drama. Future Davis. Future Realtor Davis. Your Realtor Davis.
Thank you so much. Somebody finally tell the people it's not me, it's Future. But
have differing opinions, and then I'm like, guys, let's just get along.
no, Cairo, tell the
Be
truth.
quiet, Cairo.
Cairo is the debutante of the group. Oh my goodness. She's
They be
always
talking
she's
emotion.
always trying to be the first lady. And ladies, calm down.
Yes. Tell Future the truth. She's the problem. Okay.
She know that.
So a lot of these questions, like I said, you had answered. If you could describe your personality in 3 words, what would it be?
Massive, loud, exciting.
Okay. And then if you could time travel, which era would you visit and why?
Be careful.
Ooh, I gotta say 2 eras. Take me back to the early 2000s, like the 99 going into 2000. Take me back. Let me tell. No, that was the time. That was before all this social media stuff. That's where you could really have a good time. That's when your body was your bodies and men did not care. Like I felt like I was always cute. I never looked at my body and thought it was anything wrong. In the 2000s, I thought dating was so much easier. I thought when you went out to the club, everybody wanted to dance, vibe, have a good time. All you had to do was be cute. You just had a little lip gloss, little mascara, boop, boop, boop. You know what I'm saying? Your friends cute, they with us, y'all in our section. I never had to pay for nothing in the early 2000s. Like my dad be like, girl, you gotta have some money for you. I used to be so delusional. Like, for what?
Somebody gonna pay.
Someone's gonna buy something just because they just wanted to be in your presence. That was the time to be alive. That's when everybody wanted their hair cut in them layers and stuff. It was just the vibes.
Yes, I love me some good 90s music. It was a good
90s,
time.
early
And
2000s.
now everything, even when I like look at like videos, like even like with FAMU, it's all marketing, like branding, like
Mhm.
meet the freshman class, like everything is so fancy now. And I'm like, we didn't have all that social media stuff. It was just
Everything is
everybody's
too
living
put
in a moment.
everything is too put together now. Everything is too strategized. Everything is too
Content.
scripted. It's too like for the optics, and it's not just genuine. That's just like
yeah.
like if we went out together like in the early 2000s, everybody didn't have to know. We didn't have to post that we was there to show
Right.
that we was there. We didn't have to post fake interactions with each other just to make it seem like we was friends or anything like that. I
Right.
Make
just
stuff look fun just for the heck of it.
yeah.
Right.
Or everybody out like this on a phone like that. I'm like,
And that was
phones
the
down.
snap your fingers airs. That's when everybody was really out doing a dance, having a good time. I remember when I used to go to a party, go to a club, you dressed to sweat. Like you just knew what type of time you was gonna be on. Like, I don't know. I just miss that. You meet a guy, you go home. Next day they got breakfast ready for you, some Coney Island, some something. Then it's like, damn, do you really gotta go to work? You can't just stay. Like I'll pay you whatever you make at work.
For the
I'll just give
day.
you that money to stay with
For
me or
the
whatever.
day.
For the day. Then after that, if y'all still vibing, like, you really ain't even gotta go home. You could just move
You just
in
move
here.
in.
I mean, and that's
Just move
simple.
in.
And that's simple. Then that became your dude. Y'all got married, rolled off to the sunset. Even if you met a guy who wasn't really like, he wasn't really, going to be a good boyfriend or anything like that.
He was fun.
He was fun, and he treated
Somebody
you
that was
good.
fun.
He
Who was gonna
treated you
treat you so
early
good.
2000s. If you was a black girl in the early 2000s, every weekend
You had
your
somebody.
roster was full.
They
You
was gonna
out
take
and
you
about.
out. They was gonna buy the drink.
What you
if you
doing?
needed a couple
What you
dollars,
doing?
they was gonna make sure your pockets was straight.
I'm pulling up.
What? I
Now
be like, they don't even have fun no more.
Okay.
You guys.
So question. No.
We're-
I have a
we're in
question.
2024 now. I'm sorry to bring
So
up
what
this.
do y'all feel like? Have the women changed? Has the environment changed, or is it everything?
A, B, C, D, E, all
Everything
of the above.
or everything.
On the multiple choice question, all of the above.
Everything.
It has changed.
Okay.
Can
starts
get
with
back?
us.
Can we ever get back?
It starts with us. We gotta.
It does.
It starts with us. We gotta shut stuff down. Like,
You just, you gotta stay your grounds. Just like, don't pay $600 for a concert ticket that is $150. Like, you just, some stuff you gotta stand strong and say no, and not be so thirsty to feel like you just have to have something that is not for you. Period. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. This is a
8:00 meeting.
and then these podcasts, like, be careful what you consuming, what you listening to. You are what
We talked about that later.
You are what you eat. Like, the music that you listen to, the lifestyle that you desire, the people who you desire to be around. You gotta indulge yourself in things that support that. So if I feel like I want healthy relationships, I'm listening to songs that
Mhm.
that will,
Yeah.
promote healthy relationships. I'm watching movies that promote healthy relationships. I'm being around people who are like-minded and want healthy relationships too. Now, if you feel like if you gonna be listening to toxic stuff all day, that's what you go be consuming. And I mean, I feel like a lot of us, we do like Future, and I'm not saying don't listen to Future,
Not me.
but not Future Davis, but
Future
but
Hendrix.
yeah, Future Hendrix, lean Future, like Dirty Sprite Future. But if that's the only type of content that you consume, you gonna start acting on that. So
Okay. And then what is your hidden talent? Actually, this for all of y'all before we wrap this up. What's your hidden talent that most people don't know about you?
it's hard to say because it depends on what time in space you met me. So different people know me for different things.
Okay, so it sounds like you got a lot of hidden talents.
If you knew me back in the day, you know that I can draw and paint. If you knew me in more recent times, you know that when I'm in my zone and I feel like I really want to do something, and you've been around, you see me say, I'm going to do this, and then I end up doing it. So I had to gift that when I really put my mind, and that means I really want it. A lot of stuff I really just don't want. But when I say I really want to tap in and do something, I really can do it. And I feel like those are my hidden talents.
That's a good one because I feel like I can really relate to that. I think my family accuses me of that all the time. Like if Tracy says she gonna do something or she set her mind to it, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
Like
you got to
I'm
really
going-
want to do it.
yeah, like
Yeah.
if it's something I really, really want, I'm gonna figure it out. Like I don't care what the price is, I don't care what the obstacle is, like I'm gonna figure it out. Like I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna figure out what is the plan to make that happen, and then I'm gonna just make it happen. Other hidden talent, I would say I'm the rhyme master. So like if y'all need a little poem or something, a little jingle, tell Nick all the time, like I got bars. I got bars. So go ahead, Cairo.
I was trying to think. I don't know what my hidden talent is. I feel like anything that I'm good at, I do
Okay.
now.
But what's something that everybody does not know about you?
Hmm.
What's something I don't know? Because me and you are new. We're forming a new
Yeah, I'm like,
relationship.
I mean, I think
We're in our
I'm pretty
like,
creative.
okay, because we've only made it to first base, so I don't know a lot of stuff about you.
So silly. I'm pretty creative. I love a good plan. I love to plan things. So I think in my next life I'll be into interior design, or I'll have some type of event space, or curate something. I don't know. I think that's my hidden talent. Maybe even hidden. I was always the planner for everything in my
Yes.
sorority and everything. Just planning. I like that.
She's very
Love a good
organized.
event.
She threw the most fantastic homebuyer seminar I have ever seen
It was
in my
so
life. It was so fancy.
Setting a trend.
Like
The girl.
never ever seen a
Mm.
homebuyer
First
seminar
one.
that fancy in my
Okay.
life.
It was nice.
Okay.
I had a great time. What about you?
Your realtor future.
I can
please.
sing.
All right. Thank you.
Okay,
for
say
coming.
on site.
Sing something, Future.
Like, there you go. Here, move on.
Okay.
Hidden talent.
Okay. So clearly we can go on and on and on, but this episode does have to come to an end. So we're going to finish with, if you could collab with any celebrity or organization to host an event, who would it be?
You know who I'm feeling right now. I would collab with Glorilla. Like, that's my girl right now. That is my girl. Josiah, what we listening to Glorilla on the way up here?
That your hype man? Like that's how you get turned up for events and working or
Lately.
working out or
You know what? I feel like I just be attracted to real, recognize real, and I be looking at Glorilla like she just the one for me. And I'm like, is she a breath of fresh air? I'm like, just
Yeah.
authentic, just herself. She talk how she talk, she look how she look. You know what I'm saying? And then when she first came into the game, people was trying to talk, and I look at Glorilla. I'm like, Glorilla look like my cousin, somebody I went to school with. She sound like somebody I know. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's sis right there. That's cuz right there. That's little homie right there. So yeah, it would be Glorilla for me. Organizations, I don't know.
okay. Anybody y'all would collaborate with? Who would you decorate Christmas trees with, Cairo?
With or
Mhm.
for?
Both.
Who would be fun? I would love to. This is so random, but like, I would love to go in Tracy Ellis Ross' home. I feel like it would
Oh,
be so
yeah.
pretty, and she just seems like fun. Love for her to be my aunt. Who else? That was really random, but I would like to hang out and do her Christmas tree. Who else? This is so Cairo, but like Michelle Obama, I would want to
Yeah.
like just go to their house
That's a
and be
good
like, don't y'all don't want to bother y'all, but like
Yeah. I was gonna say her book when we were talking in the other episode. The
Yeah,
Becoming.
that
I
was
really
a good
liked
book.
her book,
That was a good
Becoming.
book.
I like me some Michelle Obama. She seems so authentic and
yeah.
unbothered. Future, who would you collaborate with? Who would you? Because Future is also a rapper. You guys. Yeah, she has a whole
Oh,
special
Milo.
and Best Buy, rapping on
You're
the
so
equipment
stupid.
at Best Buy.
Who would I want to go? I will collaborate with Jay-Z. I love Jay-Z. I've always been a big fan of Jay-Z. And I like a person about their bread. I like to watch I've watched that come up and just saw like that progression.
Hmm. So you know who I would like to collaborate with, or
You just said somebody.
I didn't say anybody.
She like her book.
Oh, you just said you wanted to buy that book.
Dang.
Yeah, I just
Future.
said I like Michelle Obama. I ain't saying
That's why they get into it all the time.
Please. Let me have my moment to shine.
Go ahead.
You know who I really want to come on this podcast?
Oh.
Uncle Shay Shay. Shannon Sharp. I really do. And if you're watching this, please come on here
Very on
because
brand.
I think it would be great. Like just watching his progression, like to go from
Agreed.
football to being on, all these different shows and
Having his own platform.
having his own platform and creating his own brand and just standing firm on what he believes and just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a part of that.
He
Like,
definitely do it for the culture too, because he be reincarnating some people, and I'm like,
yeah.
And
He has some really good guests. And I'm like, you always asking questions and having other people on, like, let's get you on. Okay. Well, like I said, we could go on and on, but we
why
just
my glass empty and y'all's is still full. This crazy.
we just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, your energy.
And for always keeping us beautiful.
Period.
Yes, we love us some Ashley. Ashley, where can the girlies and the guys find you on social media?
So you guys can follow me on Instagram at beautybandit_Ashley. Same thing on TikTok, beautybandit_Ashley. You can follow me on Facebook at Ashley Tolliver. And just know that I live 3 different lifestyles on all my social media platforms. So it depends on what flavor you want. If you want my opinions and my shenanigans about stuff, you on Facebook. If you want to see the vibes, the adventures, the outfits, the looks, what I'm doing, where I'm going, you on Instagram. If you want the stuff that you can't talk about on Instagram or on Facebook, then you will be on TikTok with it.
Love it. Thank
Well, thank y'all so much for listening and tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching.